Oh, we're on.
Yeah, but
well, they don't know that.
This isn't the beginning yet,
okay.
so you're going to tell me about this one. I got to lead into this some way, so. You ready? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Backstage with Fred Cooper. It's my pleasure tonight to have one of the greatest guys that I have met in the Western field, RoyRogers Jr.
Thank you, sir.
Roy,
Fred, good to be with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Dusty.
Well, hey, we even got background music here. That's pretty good.
You were going to tell me about it. He started a little story that I had him hold up, so you're going to tell me about.
Oh, well, you were asking me whether you wanted to introduce me as RoyRogers Jr. or Dusty, and it really doesn't matter. You can call me anything you want, but I was doing a show in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, which was the Groundhog Festival.
Oh, yeah.
And, many years ago, and the MC was had a few too many beers, and when he went to introduce me, he gave me this big build-up about somebody you always wanted to see, and here he is, one of the most famous parents in the world, and here he is. And that was it. I mean, here he is. So yeah, he didn't know who I was. So I've been called everything. So.
Oh, I did that here a while back. I looked right at it. I was bringing the guy back on, and I don't know why. When you get old, it goes that way, though.
That's what Dad said.
Speaking of your dad,
yeah.
Let's talk just a minute about your dad and Mom. I just caught a PBS thing. I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. Did you happen to? Yeah, I'm sure there are many that have been done.
Yeah, this one, I don't know if this was PBS or it could have been AMC, American Movie Classics.
Probably.
I think that's probably the one.
Okay.
Yeah, we produced that about 2 years ago, just before Mom had her first heart attack.
That's when you were here last.
Yeah.
You were here, and she had that right after. How's she doing?
She's doing great. You can't keep a war horse down.
I know.
You know, those Texans are tough. Dad always says you can always tell a Texan, but not much. Mom's doing great. She really is. She just finished 2 books. In the last 2 years, she's been down a little bit. She's written 2 more books, so now she's got 27 and 28.
Good for
books.
her.
So she stays. The good Lord's been good to us, and decided to leave her around a little bit longer. I said, Mom, the good Lord's not going to take you out that way. He's gonna want to do it himself. He's not going to let the heart quit on you.
Good.
So
good.
She's working just as hard as ever. She's back on TBN doing her Date with Dale show that she does every week. So.
Is that during the day?
It runs different times of the day. Yeah, they run it 4 or 5 times a day, on different days.
Oh, okay.
Usually Saturday mornings.
God, she was good looking when she was young.
She still is.
Well, I know that. Before your dad married her, and they had her in a couple of things, and yeah, she's still a pretty woman.
Oh yeah.
I mean, but I was looking back, and I grew up with your dad. I mean, you know what the heck?
Well, they did.
Everybody did.
About 27 pictures together. And of course, Dad had different leading ladies down through the years, but Dale, of course, took over. She came in right after I was about 1.5 years old. My mother passed away when I was about 6 days old from an embolism, and so I was about 1.5 years old when Dad married Dale, and she had a son from a previous marriage, and Dad had 3 little ones, myself and my 2 sisters. So she kind of inherited instant family, and she's done a great job with the whole bunch. There's let's see. They had 9 children, 4 adopted, 1 foster child. We've lost 3. There's 6 kids left. There are 15 grandchildren. We had 16. They lost one of their grandsons about a month ago in a car accident. There are 27 great grandchildren, and I have 2. There's 2 in the oven, and both my daughters are having the 2. So.
You gonna be a grandpa?
Yeah, I already am a grandpa by 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think you were that old.
Well, I'm 47.
Oh.
So,
gracious, I just didn't.
I know.
I didn't think you were that old. You're right. You don't.
I appreciate it.
But in the let me ask you about the kids that they adopted. Did you ever feel left out?
No.
How did they spread themselves so thin? Because
I don't know. That's one of the things. Is Mom and Dad were gone so much of the time on the road, constantly, and of course, a lot of parents. You have one parent at home. The father works in the movie business and the mother stays home, or vice versa. But both of my parents were in the movie business. They both worked. So they left early, 4 or 5 in the morning, didn't come home till 7, 8 at night. We were basically raised by nannies and things like that. But the time they did spend with us was very, very special. And as far as the adopted kids go, and the one foster child, they're all equal in Mom and Dad's eyes. There's not any favoritism over one or the other. We're all, and
You
we've
still
grown
get
up that way.
together?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, last Thanksgiving we had, let's see, 64 at Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, we killed a 27-pound turkey and 2 12-pound hams in about 20 minutes. Yeah, it's getting too much for Mom. Mom, how mothers are. They always want to have.
Did she cook that?
Oh yeah.
She did?
Yeah, but we brought the side dishes, but
Sure.
she had to do the turkey, and she wanted to do the ham. But it's getting tough. Dad's 80, will be 83 November, and Mom's 82 in October. And since her heart attack, it's been a little tougher. She said, the good Lord said, hey, you're going to have to slow down a little. So he slowed her down.
Yes, he did.
But she would like to do it. Now we have it at my house, and so Linda and my wife and I get stuck with it. But it's fun because it's the only time the family really gets together, and we're really because the family's so big now, we're really scattered out. And a lot of us, most all of us still live in California or Nevada, so we can drive there, 8 or 10 hours. Some of them are away, but
You live up in
Apple Valley.
Apple Valley.
Yeah, we live up in Victorville, Apple Valley. We got a museum there, 33,000 square foot.
You take care of that?
Yes, sir.
You do?
Yeah, I take care of all of my dad's businesses.
Do
now.
you? Somebody mentioned that you bought a big plot of land up there. You planning on doing something with that?
Not right away. We bought, basically we did it because we had sold some other property and had to do something with the cash without the government jumping in all over and taking it all.
Right.
So we did some 1031 or 1032 tax-free exchanges or something, and we ended up with a 1,000-acre ranch in Lucerne we bought. But basically the only reason we bought it was just to hold on to it and see what. Dad didn't want a bunch of little pieces here and there. He wanted one big piece, so that's why we bought it. And we bought some more property along where the museum is now, and right now we're in the process of building a new project right onto the museum, which is called Rogersdale, and it's 246,000 square feet of retail entertainment area. We're going to have theaters and dinner theaters, and we have 5 new restaurants, and it's all Western. Part of it's Western theme, part of it's early California mission, and then there's a 50th Street. So we kind of do the history of California architecture from the days of the fort all the way up to the modern 50s. So we're covering a lot of ground with it. We expect to break ground on it this fall, and we should be finished with the first phase by late 95, early 96.
How do you find time to deal with all of that and do this?
I think it's just in the blood. I've grown up around entertainment field all my life. I don't get to sing as much as I'd like to. I just really love entertaining people, and this is, I think, our 3rd or 4th time here. Third time.
Third time.
And I just love it. I mean, the gang here is terrific. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better audience than this.
Now this place, you see, you ought to develop one of these up there.
Well, that might be next.
And that would be super.
The Leisure World West, I can just see it.
You bet. You
Or
bet.
east. I guess we're east of you here.
Let's go back. Let's go back to when you were very young. Talk a little bit about all of the sidekicks your dad had, and the Sons of the Pioneers, and some of those people.
I was very fortunate that I grew up with these guys. I mean, they were all my uncles or my grandpas or they were just part of the family. Gabby he was just like my grandfather. I had 2 grandfathers. My one grandfather passed away when I was relatively young, but my dad's side of the family, my grandpa stayed around quite a few years till he was about 87, 88. All of the gang on the set, I mean, all of Dad's sidekicks, Gordon Jones, and even Pinky Lee did 2 or 3 pictures with Dad, which a lot of people don't know.
I didn't know that.
He had 9 sidekicks all together at different times. Raymond Hatton in the early pictures when Dad was doing period pictures like Jesse James at Bay and Pony Express and Frontier Pony Express. He had Gordon Jones later in his career, but Raymond Hatton early. He even had Smiley Burnett for a little bit. And of course then Gabby came along, and of course Gabby did 47 pictures with him.
Wow. Wow.
But Gabby was a great guy. Gabby used to be a Shakespearean actor in New York. A lot of people don't know that.
Really?
Yeah, he used to do King Lear and all those things on the stage, and he came out west to see if he could get into the picture business, and he tried doing straight roles. Didn't work. Wasn't until he took his teeth out and grew a beard and became Gabby, or Wendy. He started out as Wendy first, really, in some of John Wayne's pictures. When John did Singin' Sandy, when he played in some of those real early John Wayne pictures. But he's always been the old codger, and even when he was young, he was an old codger. But everybody loved Gabby. He was one of a kind.
Did you ever get to do any of the TV?
TV,
parts of
yeah.
the TV.
TV, I did.
pieces?
I always played a juvenile delinquent in those pictures. I don't know why. I remember I used to.
You were the bad guy.
Yeah, I did.
But your dad started off as a bad guy, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Sometimes he played dual roles, but in one of his first pictures he did with Gene Autry, he got in a fight. There was a fight scene with Gene.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes. That's in fact, that was on
that was in the
A&E
big show,
thing.
or yeah.
That's right.
Right.
Go on with your. I didn't mean to butt in there. You played it.
No, I used to.
juvenile
Yeah, I
guy.
always played the bad kid in town, the town brat, or somebody that came in the orphanage and was always the bad kid. And even when I went on and did some movies, I did some movies for Paramount, and they were Western B-Westerns with Yvonne DiCarlo and Marilyn Maxwell and Brian Donlevy and Howard Keel and the B-Western, and I always played the rotten guy in that too. So I don't know, I must fit the part.
No, you don't.
I kind of outgrew it.
You've always been a very gentle person when you've been here. I know that some people come in and they've got a problem, but you've never had that problem. And
You can't have a problem coming here. We love this coming here. It's really fun. I wish we could come back more, but I think it's been 2 years since we were here last.
2 years, yes.
You guys forget me last year, or?
No, usually I skip over a year.
Okay.
But, hey, you pushed me. I might just bring you back anyway.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your family.
Yeah.
You live up there?
I live in Apple Valley, yeah. Linda and I, my wife Linda and I have been married 27 years this year. We have...
horses?
No, I don't have horses. I had horses when I was a kid. And the most part I remember about a horse is a shovel in the back end of a horse. I think that's the thing that my dad just, that's all I did was ran around behind the horses when I was a kid. So I enjoyed them when I was a child, but I kind of got over it. After you wash them, and Dad says, most horses are just an accident looking for a place to happen. They just...
He doesn't have horses?
No, he had them up till about October of last year, and we sold all of them at auction. He says, my horse is getting taller and my bull mall's getting heavier every year.
Well, I really wish sometime your folks could come down and see us. I just...
Well, if I could get Dad to move a little bit more, but he says, it's getting harder to get up and move, and he says, when after you're 80, people kind of forgive you forgetting things and things like that. I said, hey, Dad, I'm only 47. I can't remember where I'm supposed to be tomorrow. But they're kind of semi-retired, really. I mean, they've been in show business 60 years.
Gee, many.
Next year, in fact, in November, we go to the Western Music Association in Tucson has a big 60th anniversary of the starting of the Sons of the Pioneers, when Dad started the Sons 60 years ago.
And you're going to do one of their songs? You're going to do some of their songs?
Yeah, oh yeah, we've got to do some.
You guys sound great.
Oh, thank you.
You really sound great.
Thank you.
Didn't he just get an award?
He gave an award. This last Saturday. We had the Golden Boot Awards, yeah.
Yes.
That's the one award show. The motion picture sciences, arts and sciences, which is the Oscars. They've never really recognized the B-Western as that's their second tier. We don't. But if it hadn't been for Gene and Rex and Dad and Lash LaRue and all those other guys, the studios would have never made any money to make the big pictures. But they're just kind of put to the side. So the Golden Boot Award was basically started for the Cowboys to kind of recognize each other and their accomplishments down through the years.
And you got to figure the B-Western was also the babysitter for a lot of us.
Oh, for a lot of kids.
A lot of us.
Yeah,
we were always at a matinee doing something like that.
And of course, during the war, Dad turned. He became #1 in box office in 1942 and stayed there for 12 consecutive years. And that was heavily into the war at that time. And a lot of fathers were off to war, and the kids really gravitated to Dad. And I get some beautiful letters from them saying, boy, you were my surrogate father while my dad was gone. And some of those guys didn't come back.
Yeah.
So
that's nice.
Yeah, it really is.
That's
really
nice.
is. Yeah. It's nice to know that we all wish that if we could just influence our grandkids, or our kids a little bit. But when you influence the lives of millions of young people, you can say you've done something with your life that way.
That's great.
Yeah.
That is super. I know you're going to do that too, right?
I'm trying.
No,
I'm trying. Awful big boots to fill. People say, are you following your dad's footsteps? No. I just kind of lag a little behind, but there's only going to be one Roy Rogers. There'll never be another, and for me to try to to be better than he is. It's impossible. You can't.
You're
And I don't want to be.
No,
You know, you never want to be better than your dad. You know, your dad is one of a kind, and he definitely is, and there'll never be another one like him in history that I could possibly perceive at this point.
You like him a lot, don't you?
A lot.
Yeah.
I love him a lot.
Yeah.
A lot better than like him.
Yeah. Well, naturally
Yeah.
you would. But that's nice. So how many children do you have, Jen?
I have 3. I have a daughter that's 25, a daughter that's 22. My 25-year-old Shauna has a little 3-year-old grandson, my grandson. And then my daughter Kelly is 22. She lives in Texas. She's got a baby on the way, and so does Shauna. Shauna's due at the end of this month. Kelly's due at the end of October, and my son is 18. He just graduated from high school, is going to college now. So Linda and I are rattling around in this big house like 2 beans in a can. But they say, you know, you really feel bad when your kids leave home, but I don't know. I'm liking it pretty good.
Well, it's been a pleasure. I know that a lot of people can't come out tonight, or they'll be seeing this sometime even after the show. But wish we could show them the show, but of course we can't. And maybe next time they'll come out and see you.
I hope so.
Okay.
I hope so.
And
If not, well, God bless you all for at least tuning into this. 'Cause
there
it's
will
great.
be a next time.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank
very
you. I
much.
appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, you stick with us and we'll be right back in a few moments. Welcome back to Backstage, and right now we have a young lady with us that we're happy to have you. You're going to perform tonight. This is Miss Candy Carter.
That's right.
Welcome to you, and let's talk about you. How'd you get started in show business? Where are you from?
Well, I'm originally from Arkansas,
Whereabouts? See us too.
a little bitty town called Lincoln, which is up in the northwest corner, right outside of Fayetteville.
Oh, okay.
And when I lived there, it was about 800 people. And we lived on a dirt road, and I'm not making this up. It's really all true.
Is it?
Yeah.
How long did you live there?
Not long enough. I really, it was heartbreaking for me to leave there.
Was it?
And, but, you know, not everything can remain the same all the time, so you got to move on. And
Did you
so-
start in show business back there?
I guess so. Actually, my first gig was
Performance.
on my daddy's radio program. I was 6 years old. He had a daily radio gospel show at 12 o'clock. And I'll never forget the first time I went in there to that recording studio, and I saw all these big reels and the glass and all of these instruments and all this stuff, and I was just going wide-eyed, you know. And they had the quartet that he sang with, they had a piano player. And his name was Troy Belote. And I mean, these names were very, very Southern, you know. My daddy's name is Pat Ryan, you know, and modern, no, they weren't the Modernaires, they were the Backstairs or something like that. And I knew from that very second that that was for me.
Show business.
I knew. I don't know how I knew, but I just loved it. And in my family, you know, we sang all the time. And
Church?
yeah. And we had to go around to Sunday singings. And we'd drive, you know, 4 hours to get to a singing and stay there for 2 or 3 hours and then drive 4 hours
Probably
home.
food there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
That's why you drove so far. Okay, so did you come out here alone? Did your parents come out? How did you get out here to California?
actually, I moved out here with my husband.
Did you?
We moved out here in 1982.
Oh heavens, you haven't been here very long.
No.
No wonder you talk like that.
Well,
But you sing great.
oh, thanks.
And listening to the rehearsals, they were going very well. Very
Thanks.
nice, yeah.
I love this facility here. I love the stage, and everybody that we've met here is very nice and
They're all nice.
very
They're all great
wonderful people.
Yeah, the camera's
Yeah.
full of them.
Yeah.
They're going to be watching you and saying, gee, I wish I'd have gone to that show. So the next time you see Candy Carter in the Leisure World News, you'll know good and well that it's time to come out and see the show that night. Well, so, what you came out with your husband, and how did you get going?
Well,
Talk to us about your
we
background.
worked the clubs, you know.
The Western clubs.
The Western, where they do so much Western dancing and all that sort of thing. And that's really kind of how I started out. And in fact, one of my original bass players had his own band for many years and just kind of went on hiatus for a year or so. He was tired. And so I talked to him, because he was real good, and I talked him into being in my band. And I overheard him telling some of the guys that were going to be in my band, he said, "I can't believe this. The clubs are all full of bands, and this girl just blows into town and says, I'm going to put a band together." I mean, nobody could believe, and I didn't know any better. If I'd have known that ahead of time, I don't know if I'd have had the guts to do it or not.
May not have worked.
But yeah, right. So I just forged ahead as I usually do, you know, not knowing, keeping my blinders on, and just put a band together and start working.
Is your husband in show business?
No, he's a real estate appraiser.
Oh, okay. You just decided to come to California, and you decided to put together a band.
Yeah. I must have been nuts.
Did you ever play out here in Orange County at the what is it, the big Western place out here?
Yeah.
You can cut some of the what? Crazy Horse, yeah. Crazy Horse, you played Crazy Horse?
I played at the Crazy Horse.
That's a wild place.
That's a fun place.
Yes, it is.
I really like that place. I like that room.
Oh,
it's
that's
a nice room.
Great spot.
Yeah. And
this is better, though.
Yeah, I like this. And I like being outside.
Yeah.
You know,
especially on
really
these warm
nice.
nights.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we worked the clubs for many years, and all of this was in preparation to go to Nashville, to do the big push, to try and get a recording contract. So I did that, and I was working so hard and so many nights that I was just exhausted and burned out, and my throat was going down the tubes. But that, you know, that happens to everybody who does that. So it's not that that's uncommon. It's just very stressful, and it's very hard on you physically, and I'm sure you know that. And
no, I'm retired.
So anyway, then I went to Nashville and had a real nice showcase there. And we stayed down there about 2 weeks and checked it out, and nothing came of it so far. But we have had some interest, and it's time to go back in the studio again and record some more. You know, I write some. I also have some good friends who have some great inroads to writers in Nashville, so we got a lot of songs actually from Nashville writers, which was very fortunate.
Do you have any tapes now?
Yes.
Do you?
Okay. And so anyway, when I got back from Nashville, I was so tired that I had to take a little time off, and so I decided that I would start pursuing the corporate end of the parties and the functions and events and all that sort of thing. And so you put together this big promo package of things you've done, and send out your tape and with pictures and all that sort of thing to lots of the different party companies, event organizers, and fairs, you know, and all that sort of thing. So we did that, and I really liked that. It's not so stressful on your voice because you don't work 5 or 6 nights a week.
Right.
And your days and your nights don't get flip-flopped, and you know, so I love working a gig, you know, 8 or 9 o'clock, and time to
go home and go to bed.
Even though I'm a night owl, I love to stay up, but
well, you can stay up after you get home.
that's right. You can't just do that, you know, 6 nights a week, you know.
You worked with Roy before, lot?
No, just last time that we were here.
Oh, and then you worked here with Cliffy Stone.
Cliffy Stone.
And this your 4th time here then? 3rd or 4th time?
3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
I'm not real sure.
Well, I'm sure we're going to have you back. And
Well,
we
I
want
love
them to
being
come
here.
out and see
Yeah,
you.
you guys got to come see Candy.
But if you go down to Nashville, you won't be back.
Well, you know, they sell two-way tickets. They sell round-trip tickets. So I love
Okay.
the weather out here in comparison to Nashville, you know. I mean,
Yes, much better. Have you had anything going maybe down in Branson area?
No, and my parents keep telling me, Candy, you've got to go to Branson, and they're right.
Yeah.
I got to do that.
And how about Dollywood?
I'd love to go.
Yeah, that sounds great. I've never been in the area, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it has been fun. I hope to see you again sometime.
Thank you. I enjoyed talking
I would like to
with
see you go down there, except that if you do, I probably can't afford to have you back then. See, you're going to get so popular, and if I ever met you, you'd say, "What's Leisure World?"
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. I like it here.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the luck in the world. I really hope you make it.
Thanks.
I just wish you weren't going so far away.
Well, I'm not gone yet.
But that's the way it goes, the money. And the
Well-
prize. I mean, all of the prize. That's the place for
Yeah.
Westerners. So. Good luck to you, babe.
Thank you very much, Brad.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking to Candy Carter, and it's been a very big pleasure talking to both of these people. I'm looking forward to the show, and I hope if you don't make it tonight, in 1994, I hope you'll make it possibly next year or the following year. You be good, and happy trails. Good night, everybody. Okay, there you are, ma'am.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you very much. Do you have tapes for sale tonight that we're going to talk about?
I think we...
Did you